We are here. Trinity, week 2. A little late, but better late than never. Had some stuff come up, so apologize to our members. We promise. Ray and I have gone back and forth the last couple days. We have I think a reasonable plan of when to do the Trinity show every single week. That way we are not having to put out an emergency message. Hey, we're going to be 12 hours late, which turned into 24 hours late, which, what are we at? 3:30 Eastern time on Wednesday.
All right, man, we here. Right? Shit happens. Life happens, man.
All the waivers have already run.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's too late.
You should have got QJ last week. I told you last week to get him. You should have had him. But there's still a lot more to talk about, though. There's a lot to talk about.
100%. We're 2 weeks in. We don't quite have that month-long sample size that we talked about last week, which is kind of like ideal to really draw some conclusions. But we got 2 weeks. We have some players that have emerged, and we're going to talk about today. So this is Trinity Report Week 2. If you're tuning into this after the fact, not live, then you are seeing this on the YouTube public feed. If you're interested in being a member and getting this live and getting Dynasty Deal Show live every week, $3.99 a month gets you in the door. Trade and chill tier, hit join in the description or at any of the DDFFB videos. The join button should be there. Become a member, support the channel. And then if you want in the community, if you want access to the Trinity tool or you want into our Discord community, patreon.com/allgas gets you in the community. And then obviously ddfantasyfootball.com. Get you the Trinity tool. So, Ray, let's get at it. Week 2, what's on your mind?
A lot of things are on the mind, man. A lot of things are on the mind. Shout out to Jed. Jed jumped in here. He said, I hear you. I still don't want QJ.
We're gonna put it on the screen. Put it on the screen. Put the Chargers on the screen because we talked about this yesterday in voice chat, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just isolate the Chargers you can do.
This is for weeks 1 and 2. It's 1 and 2. I mean, it's going to show 1 through 17, but it's 1 through 2.
Yeah, we only have 2.
Yep.
But what does everybody notice? I mean, what do you notice, right? Like, you obviously see the 3 dots. Clearly, you see the 2 that are above the regression line. I think that's probably some touchdown luck for those 2, QJ and Keenan Allen.
Yep.
But the first thing that sticks out to me is, like, go hover over that dot in the middle. What's that dot hovering in the 4.4 range or whatever?
4-1. Trey Harris. 4-1.
And we know that's based on his routes run. Like, that's a limited participation.
Correct.
Which is, you know what? You know what I take away from Trey Harris? People will say, well, what does this mean for Trey Harris? I'm keeping him on the back burner. Yeah. But I'm very interested if one of those other 2 or one of those other 3 ain't there. The fact that he's got a 4 Trinity in week 2, he could easily slide in, maybe not to be Ladd or Keenan Allen or even QJ.
No.
But if one of those wasn't there,
agreed.
He's on that radar as like, that's a top potential 40, 45
agreed.
week. You know what I mean?
100%. I'm with you.
Good for him.
Yep. Good for Trey Harris. Agreed. So keep vibing. I was going to say that. I just wanted to echo, this isn't great. This isn't somebody that you're going to start. And I'm not even telling you to go trade for him, but I'm fine with that usage 2 weeks into the season for Trey Harris. I'm fine with it. I'm watching it. I'm fine with this. He's nothing right now, but what I notice is it's still concentrated between 3 guys at the top in this offense. And I know most people are going to gravitate towards what Ladd is not doing because he was the most expensive of these players, but it's still very much a concentrated offensive attack 2 weeks in.
Yeah, I think this is where being able to read these charts, and I don't want to say the players don't matter, but for purposes of this, I think there's some deductions that we can make. We already talked about Trey Harris. Hover over those other 2 dots, Ray, so everybody can see who those are.
Right here, it's Tyler Conklin, 2.44, and this is Will Dissly, 1.41.
So what does that tell you about the tight end situation for the Chargers, how they're being used, and the fact that it's a split between 2 and they both are bad? So it's like the tight end position in this offense thus far is irrelevant, right?
Correct.
Not streamable, not one you would buy if you can get it for cheap. Like, you're out of the tight end business. You agree?
Correct.
Okay. A couple other things, and this is where you can use the Trinity in conjunction with other data. The Chargers are the pass-heaviest team through 2 weeks.
Okay.
Almost a 70% pass rate. And both of their games have been competitive. I mean, that Raiders game got a little out of control at moments, but it was still, a 2-touchdown or less game the entire time. So the Chargers lead the league in neutral pass rate. Some of their pass rate over expected in situations is also extremely high. So this is a pass-friendly offense with a above-average efficiency quarterback with a concentrated offense running 3 receivers and no other nats. And not really even run. I know we don't have running back targets on here, but they don't have running back targets. Right. We're talking less than half a dozen targets to the running back. So this is a very good situation to just, you make bitch about Ladd. He's not as good as those other two, or QJ's still shit. But in a start 10 even, Ray, all 3 of these guys are weekly starters for me.
Absolutely.
And you live with the results. You agree?
100%. I said it last week. Probably a little premature, but I said it last week, and I'll say it again. If I've got Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen, or Quentin Johnston, I'm starting them. All 3 of them.
Yeah.
All 3 of them.
And you can go play the market on what those guys cost. I had this in mind, Ray. I made a trade today, and there's some nuances in the league, but it's a team where I have Lamar and Trevor Lawrence, and I lost Burrow. I traded Burrow for Ladd McConkey and J.K. Dobbins in a start 12. And you may say I sold a little low on Burrow, but you know what? I'm looking at this chart when I'm buying that Ladd. He might not seem elite, but it feels like he's got some elite games based on the 100%. Usage with this. He's going to have some spike games. So,
if anything, here's what I know. Is barring some catastrophic injury, Ladd McConkey's got more time in the game than Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, when he's on the field and healthy, he earns targets. He's always had an ability to do that, and I don't think it's going to change. If this has provided, I've always said I like buying players that are in the far right quadrant and in the below the regression line, which Ladd is. Like, based on other players right now who are currently getting 7.1 worths usage of wide receiver stuff, he's underproducing. 11 points per game. Yes, he is. But it's not like he's fallen off. And I know the gap between these two look like very significant, but he's at a 7.1, Allen's at a 7.8, and QJ's at a 7.5. It's not. Those guys have gotten in the end zone. Those guys have had some bigger downfield. Quentin Johnston, some bigger downfield plays. Air yards is a big portion of this score. But I'm still extremely, extremely bullish on Ladd McConkey. Sean says what he saw, Scott, is 3 unsustainable production for 3 guys. I don't agree. I'm not saying that all 3 are going to stay high above the line, because don't you agree that there will be a week where one of these guys just smashes and the other ones, they're fine, but they're 3 for 40. QJ's 4 for 50, but Ladd's the one that scored 2 touchdowns and he went before $150. Like, it's happening. And like, week to week, one may outproduce the other, but the distribution of points across the season, I absolutely think we can see these guys all be in that range if they're on the field. Everything so far says the team is going to throw the football, and they're going to throw the football to 3 players.
Yeah, let me give an example of, I see what Sean's saying, but I think here's where that bet potentially comes true, and it has nothing to do with these 3 receivers, right? So we already hovered over Conklin and Disley, right? What were they at? 3 and 2 points per game or something like that? I mean, like, just minuscule, right? 1 catch a game. 1 catch for 20 yards. Like, that's basically what both of the tight ends are doing. Maybe they luck and get a touchdown, and that'll go a little bit above the regression line, but their usage is very minimal. Then you look at, there's not a lot of nats on here. There's only 1 other receiver that's registered any data, so that's good. There isn't 6 receivers like some teams have already. If you look at the running back production, like I said before, like, we don't have a lot of running back production in the air on this offense either, which sometimes, if you look at some of these teams, you wonder, well, how is their overall piece of the pie lower? But then you look at, they have running backs that are getting 8 targets a game. You know what I mean? And that's not on the Trinity chart. So sometimes it's a little misleading, but I'm just going to give this example because people aren't going to buy this. And I honestly don't know if I buy it for a season. Last year, the Bengals led the league in passing production created for their offense per game for the team. Now, that includes tight ends, receivers, and running backs out of the passing game. 72 PPR points per game for that offense last year.
Wow.
You know what this offense looks like on paper? That offense last year. Higher pass rate, similar pass volume. Now, are they going to be the same situational like the Bengals were last year? Probably not. But that tells me that the way the Chargers are playing, there's going to be 60 points per game to go around in this passing offense. This isn't like this is going to come back to earth and one of these guys is going to bust. Is one of these guys going to bust every week? Probably. They're going to give you an 8, a 9, or a 10. But like you said, there's going to be one guy in the offense that's getting 20 plus almost every week, or all three are getting 16, 17. Yes. So I think the floor is very high, and that's why you just start all three. Yeah, it feels worse to start Ladd at the same rate you would start QJ or Keenan Allen, but that's the reality. But Ladd is probably the best player of the three.
Yes.
And you're in a situation that is golden for points. So I don't think it's unsustainable unless the Chargers completely change how they're playing offense. And that's something we have to monitor over the next couple of weeks.
Let me just look at week 2 for them. I mean, it's Keenan Allen, it's Quentin Johnston, there's Ladd McConkey right there, and then there's the Nat Trey Harris in week 2. In week 2. Just ISO week 2, and then again, tight end wise, it was just Will Dissly and nothing there. So to your point, I'm just rolling out all three. And in week 3, this Ladd dot could very well be Quentin Johnston, and then this could be Ladd McConkey, and this could be Keenan Allen. It's a good passing offense. It's a good environment. I want it, Scott. I want it. And this is in this week 2 game was in a game which they didn't really have to throw the ball. Geno Smith was so god awful that they were never really threatened by the Raiders anyway.
Yep.
All right, who else do we want to talk about? Go ahead.
Well, we'll just end it with this because I think this is going to apply to a lot of teams. You know, everyone watching right now. I mean, if you're in here watching live, like you're in tune with the Dynasty streets. You know what I mean? You're probably in the community. Yes. You're probably consuming other content like this.
Yes.
You know the market on Quentin Johnston. You know the market on Keenan Allen. What we're saying is, this is an offense, one of the few in the NFL. There's probably less than 10 where you just say, give me one of the pieces. I can decide if my league needs to spend that second on QJ.
Correct.
Or that second on Keenan Allen. You may say I don't need to, but don't. But if you're in one of those situations where you're looking for a replacement for a Jaden Reed, or you're looking for a replacement for one of these guys that hasn't lived up to the billing, you thought you were going to start Stephon Diggs every week. Well, that's not working out. Like, this is the type of buy you go and just say, hell, you go trade Stephon Diggs for QJ. See if that works. Like, you know what I mean? Like, get into this offense if you need it. If you don't, we're not saying go buy QJ because he's going to triple in value. But it's one of those ones where if you can get him, you know what you have.
Let's talk about the Giants. We haven't spoken about the Giants, and most people just assume it's Malik Nabers. But quietly, Scott, Wandale Robinson. Let me go to week 1 and just look at Wandale. This is week 1. This is when the Giants, this was versus the Commanders. Nabers didn't do all that well. Wandale Robinson, I mean, still had, look at the usage. Just screw where the dots are, skew the points. Just look at the usage. It was those two, and then Daniel Bellinger, which is a tight end, and Theo Johnson, okay? And then we fast forward to week 2. We'll ISO week 2. Look at what you see, Scott, on the screen. Nabers, Robinson, Darius Slayton, and Theo Johnson. So then when we look at this for the season, and let's really talk about this, man. You talk about consolidation on a team where this defense looks like it's going to be pretty bad. Is Wandale Robinson maybe not one of the most slept-on wide receivers right now as far as production versus current cost value? And I have not even looked at the Giants until now. So I'm walking through this live and direct with you. Talk about this one real quick. Everybody knows what Nabers is, but give me something with Wandale. And are you believing in this type of... There's only 3 other guys who've even been involved over 2 weeks. 3 others. And 2 of them is damn Daniel Bellinger and Theo Johnson. Scott, how are we not more aggressively trying to get pieces of this offense? At least Wandale Robinson I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, Wandale's Trinity last year was 5.6, so he's clearly being used in a better way this year than he was last year, when there really isn't much difference between this year and last year's Giants offensive skill players. The Giants, surprisingly rare, one of the more pass-heavy teams. I do think that is because their running hasn't been great. But, I mean, their per play passing efficiency has been pretty good. Not what you would have pegged with Russell Wilson being
give it. We're just talking through what's happening, right?
Yes, but the way that it looks right now, what this tells me is that they're basically using two receivers. I mean, Wandale's never going to be Nabers, but you're looking at, you know who I said Wandale reminded me of the other day in voice chat? He's what you hoped somebody like Josh Downs was. You know what I mean? Like he is a receiver that has a good profile, has dealt with injuries, bad offenses, everything you can think of. But here we are. And it's one of those guys that we've written off a year or two ago as being just, what was the term last year? The PPR scam, right? He got all these targets and didn't do shit with them. So it's like immediately he got cast off as, when a guy gets that much volume and does so little with it, people go, well, he must be a bad player. So he actually is going to get less this year. He's getting a little less, but you know what? He's getting a lot more quality as well. So this is another one where, like, if you trust this, and you may not want to trust Russ, you may not want to trust the Giants, but
what is it? I guess it's the sample size. They've only thrown to those two guys. That's who they're throwing the ball to. It's not even up for debate. It's not a debate.
That's the takeaway.
There's no guessing. There's nothing else. It's Nabers. It's Wandale Robinson.
Yep. And that's as far as you can go with this. Like, all the other things are going to come up on the Giants, how I don't trust it. This isn't sustainable, but
I don't like Russ. Russ is not. I'm ready to. All of that be damned. When they're throwing the football and the things that we're looking for to equate the fantasy points, it's two players. And I don't know if there's a wider distribution that we can look at between what we're looking at right now. And when you're telling me the next closest guys are Bellinger and Theo Johnson, it doesn't.
Yep.
I don't even care. Those tight ends, those targets are completely separate from what the wide receivers are going to get.
And that's where the old, how big is the pie argument does matter, because the size of the pie is one thing, but the concentration of it is really what we're talking about here. Like, this doesn't have to be the biggest pie. This doesn't have to be the best quality pie. But if there's only two people eating it,
you're going to get full.
It's going to be enough of a chunk to make a starter range player for you.
Yep, you'll get full. If it's only two people eating that pie, it's going to get full. So, again, I haven't discussed Wandale or this Giant situation at all, because my natural inclination is just to go to Nabers. And you're like, oh, yeah. But then you look and you're like, there's somebody who so far has been equally as productive that you can play. But here's the thing. I bet you that Wandale's start rate is sub 20%. I bet you there wasn't a soul that played him in week 2.
I think it was like 16% on Sleeper in week 2. So it went up a little bit, but it'll be very interesting to see if it goes up even higher. It'll go up a little bit, but not high enough. He should be an off-start.
Anahola says Texans and Patriots. Who do you want to pull up? Do you want to? Which one, Scott? We'll do one of those two.
Well, let's go to the Patriots, because we pumped up that Boutte last week, and let's just say this is what happens when sometimes it comes crashing back down to earth. Take a look at that week 2 Boutte.
Well, let's go week 2. Let's go week 2 only.
It went from, remember last week it was Hunter, Henry, and Boutte, and this week it's Diggs and Austin Hooper.
Well, what this just, no one did anything. This is, even with Boutte's bad usage, he still was the highest scoring receiver on the team.
You know what I will take away from the Patriots, Ray? You liked him, I liked him, but the guy you absolutely don't want in this offense is Pop Douglas.
Yeah.
He's like 3rd, 4th, or 5th on the pecking order, and where he's getting used is like. I mean, he might as well be like.
Look at Hunter Henry,
scat back.
If you didn't watch this game, and you see how bad look at how bad Diggs and Hooper were with their usage. Like, look how bad they were. This was a week where at least if you had Boutte, you walked away with the 8 points he got you, right? You got your touchdown, you got your 1 reception, you got your 15 yards, and he finished above the line. But what do you even do with this with New England from week 2? Like, what do you do? I think the bigger thing is let's look at the full season, and it's only 2 games. When Boutte's throwing the ball, he's been the most productive wide receiver for New England. That's what this chart tells me.
Well, what you don't like to see, Ray, is we don't have one single player for the season above a 6.2.
Yeah.
And you already have 6 dots on the screen. I mean, why do we need to have 2 tight ends? Why do we need to have Mac Hollins in there?
It's not concentrated
This
enough.
is where the pie is average size at best, and there's 6 people trying to eat off of it. And and there's nobody that's better than the others, really. So, I mean, it is random every week. So I'm probably looking at this like
Big
I'm
T
not
said
as
you
excited.
I'm not either, Scott. Big T said you were spamming those Hunter Henry trades today. But I mean, you're right. There's 6 people trying to eat a medium pizza. You get one slice apiece. You get 1 slice apiece. And what you were hoping for from this game, please let my guy have been the one to score. And even then, it didn't equate to much. So, not ideal. Not ideal.
After week 1, I put my money where my mouth is. I traded for a couple Bouttes, and I
started him.
Right, and he had a touchdown in the first drive.
Felt
and
great.
I go, we're cooking. And then I look up at the end of the game,
and that's all he got.
1 for 16 is the only thing he got the whole game. So, like, at least he survived a little bit. But, like, yeah, this one is.
I'm more concerned with the passing. I just don't know if May is going to do as much as you're looking at. Probably middling efficiency and middling volume. That doesn't speak well for an offense where there's 6 dots on the screen.
Well, so I'm looking that up right now. The Patriots actually are 9th in neutral pass rate.
Okay.
Drake May is 8th in passing efficiency. So you know what we need with this offense? We just need it. They need to pick a couple guys and roll with those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we don't need 2 tight ends.
Right.
We don't need
receivers.
Pop Douglas out there.
Mac Hollins.
We don't need Mac Hollins.
But they're going to be out there.
Perfect. Like, yeah.
He's going to be out there. Yeah. He's going to be out there. You need Diggs to go on paternity leave. I heard he's having a baby. I don't know if you saw that. Is that true?
It is.
He got Cardi B pregnant, yep. Scott? I'm truly coming to you. Is that true?
That is true. Yes. All of your favorite aggregators out there, I think even TMZ picked it up. So it's true. The problem is that doesn't go fast enough for, and that's going to be like around free agency time is when that's going to start.
They won't
re-sign
really
him. Up.
Yeah, they won't re-sign him. Okay. You want to pull Houston up? I talked about this on Wake Up with Jay Rich. I'm just kind of concerned with the Houston offense in general. I'm just concerned with it in general.
I got some Houston data for you too, and it's
let me get New England.
Talk about the Trinity.
Yeah, let me get New England off of here. Here, oh my gosh. Wow. But
before you get into that, when you see, because we did this last week, but this is through 2 weeks. So again, the sample size is getting bigger. When you see everybody below the line, what does that typically tell you?
QB play. Something's not happening right in the offense, man. QB's not, and I'm not saying it's his fault, but QB's not getting it done. Those other players with similar usage, they're producing more than these guys are. I'm just going to guess what Nico's is. Where's Nico at? A 6. Lad's right at a 7.1, and he's right at 11 points, right? So other players within this range, Nico is underproducing. Everybody is. I don't know how bad it is. Nobody is above the line in this offense. Who is this? Jalen Noel, right at par for players who get 0.89 worth of wide receiver shit, which I'm going to assume ain't much.
And Ray, guess what? Christian Kirk is off the injury report. So add another probably like 4 Trinity guy in there if this tells you anything about either Christian Kirk is awesome and he is the missing linchpin to this whole offense, or I'd be very wary to jam him in there, given how all of these other guys are performing, you know?
What do you do? Let me go week 2. Let me ISO week 2. I haven't done that for Houston. Let me ISO week 2. At least Nico got everything in that offense.
I think if you look at Nico last year, he was the only guy above the regression line. It looked very similar to this, except for all the other turds last year were still below it and low. So I think this is more of like I've seen some people down on Nico, Ray. But like if this is going to get fixed to any degree, it's still going to be him that's going to eat before everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not even close. So I don't know if that means a buy low, but like let me ask you this theory question. Forget about like dynasty value and everything. Would you rather have Nico here or Ladd where he is?
Nico.
Okay. Is that just because he's so far separated from everybody else that like when it booms, it's going to be probably a bigger chance of a boom?
Here's what I know. Once again, the team doesn't think that these guys are any close of a threat to give them opportunity. You know how they say targets are earned? You earn the targets. Mm-hmm. What I see here is nobody has earned anywhere close to what Nico Collins gets in this offense. Whether you like QJ or Keenan Allen, they've earned the opportunity from their coaching staff to get targets. I would rather have Nico Collins, and it's honestly not even close for me.
So here's some numbers for you. Where do you think the Texans rank in terms of neutral passing rate, or even when game scripts are within a score or less? And with their defense, they're going to play a lot of games in this like one possession range. You know what I mean? Like they're going to have a lot of games like their first 2 weeks games were. Where do you think they rank in terms of when they're passing in those situations out of 32 teams?
26th.
Pace-wise. It's a little higher. It's 20th, but not what you would scream like a pass-friendly offense, right? Like pretty neutral. Now, here's where it really shows why everybody's below that line. Where do you think CJ Stroud ranks in passing efficiency through the first 2 games?
Well, if there's 20th there, okay, 25th.
Lower.
27th.
Like bad. The names around him are Caleb, McCarthy, and Bryce.
Okay, so he's low.
You may say like he's not as bad as those guys, but like on paper, what he's delivering to his weapons is not that much better. And that might be the offensive line. It might be the new offensive coordinator. Like,
but that's the reality.
He sucks, but you're not looking at him going, man, it's a schematic problem only. Like the quality of what he's giving when they throw the ball isn't that great.
Isn't that great?
So that's the
is
problem.
That the push?
That's
is that the pushback against Nico? And then if you were to say Ladd, you're just betting on just a better offense. You're betting on a way better environment, a better quality of target. Would that be the argument for Ladd McConkey over Nico?
I mean, Herbert's in the top 10, so you're getting much higher volume. You're getting higher
Okay, let me
quality.
ask you this. Could I take my Ladd? Could my Nico get me Ladd plus? And I'm not saying the plus is big. Who's worth more, dynasty-wise? Because that I would take the one that's worth the lowest amount and try to see if I can get something extra. Who's worth more, Nico or Ladd? Who's got more ADV?
I think Nico still probably holds a little bit more because people will still look at just the sheer, like, Nico's the only guy. You know what I mean?
Then I would make that move then. I would trust the Trinity, and I would trust the volume, and I would trust the efficiency, and I would trust that Ladd too will have his big day where he catches 1 or 2 touchdowns. And if you're telling me I can take my Nico and pivot into Ladd plus, I would do that. Anahola said they're neck and neck on KTC for what it's worth. They're back to back.
Yep.
So if I could, if there's and you got to understand that every league is a little different, right? There might be leagues where people are like, I'm effing done with Ladd McConkey. This is BS. I drafted him to be the guy. They're throwing it to freaking QJ. They're throwing it to Keenan Allen. I want out. If I could sell my Nico to that person for Ladd plus, I would do it.
Yep.
That's how I'll answer that.
I think any plus gets you. You'd take either side.
Can we go to another buy low player who's not even playing right now, maybe? Just want your thoughts here. What do you do with this? What do you do with Kansas City? Week 2, and I cautioned people. I was on Yahoo, and I said, hey, I wasn't fully bought into the Hollywood Brown target monster. I think it was more of a byproduct of week 1 panic. We didn't have anybody. We got to get it to somebody and get out of this game. We get into week 2, and then you see what happens. Thornton leads the way. Kelsey once again underperformed. Hollywood underperformed, and there's multiple gnats in this offense. I want Rashee Rice. I want Xavier Worthy to be good. But what are you doing with the pass catcher? I talked about it on Wake Up on Monday. I don't want to start any one of these guys. Not one of them. I don't want to start Hollywood. I don't want to start Thornton. I'm not starting Kelsey. I don't want to start anybody in Kansas City outside of Patrick Mahomes.
I don't think you're crazy. I mean, I think you can justify starting him if you have Mahomes. Like, just to hope you catch the back end of, like one league I did start Thornton this week because I have Mahomes. That was the tiebreaker, and it worked. You know what I mean? But if I didn't have Mahomes, I would have gone, okay, who else can I play instead? Because it's not like Thornton's Trinity in week 1 was anything to write home about. So I said it yesterday, right? If this continues just to look the way that it is, because go look at week 1 to where Hollywood was through the roof.
I saw week 1? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just look at the names real quick, and you see Hollywood through the roof, and then go to week 2, and you'll see Hollywood was clearly taking a backseat to Tyquan. I mean, Kelsey's just going to live below that line just because he's probably cooked, like what he gets is what they create for him. But
yes,
the more the time goes on, it feels like you said buy low, and I think that could mean Xavier Worthy. That could mean Rashee Rice, whatever one you want to go, but it's not somebody on this screen. You agree?
Correct. How do you feel about Worthy? It's hard to trust it, isn't it?
We're all spooked at like
one hit.
He doesn't even register on Trinity here because he got hurt before he actually was involved. So we just don't know. We do not know. We never got an answer to that. How is he going to be used when Rice is not there?
We haven't
it was
even
going to be
seen
the
that.
Hollywood role week 1. And if it was the Hollywood role from week 1, then great. But if it's the one from week 2, then it's like not that exciting.
Let me just say there is no such thing as a Hollywood role.
The usage that Hollywood got, you'd hope that would be Worthy without Rashee Rice. But right, we may not see it for enough time to even make a judgment as to whether he's a guy you want to buy, and you're still buying into the. I mean, this is just completely gut feel. You want Rice. You don't even want to mess with the. Worthy is one hit from going out for the season.
I love Worthy. That was my guy that I was betting on to happen this year. It's one of two things. Either my feed and the things that I consume are so skewed to people who don't know what they're talking about, and all the fantasy football injury doctors were so clearly wrong, right? Because the way that it was presented to you, to me, Scott, was, it was really like this dude's going to have surgery right now. There's no way he can play. He's out for half of the season. And then all of a sudden, Kansas City's like, oh, he's going to play in week 3. So where's the truth? Was he not as hurt as we thought? Was he? Is he still? All that's in my mind is think about how large of a human Khalil Mack is. And he got his arm snapped. Like, I'm looking at his arm get folded up in the game. And I'm just thinking about how many ways Worthy can just go out. Landing on his shoulder. He's going to get tackled. He's not going to avoid contact. I'm terrified of it, man. Like, just being real. Like, I don't want to buy into a 50% healthy Xavier Worthy. I don't want to miss out on the production. But if I had to pick one or the other right now, it would be Rashee Rice. Unequivocally, Rashee Rice.
So I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to put this potentially gross trade idea out there in the ether. Xavier Worthy or Quentin Johnston in a second. Is that even close for you? You did not think we'd be swapping your Worthy for QJ plus, but here we are. I mean, how can we talk up the Chargers and not say like that's not a bad bet?
Do you think it's anywhere out of bounds to say if this dude finishes the season, not even smashing to this degree, but another step forward. They're not like, hey, we're going to bring him back. Like, he's a part of this team. He fits Herbert. You're getting an extension. Like, what is that even? It doesn't matter what we thought about Quentin Johnston 2 years ago as a rookie. Like, every year people write him off. They keep giving him more opportunity. And so far through 2 weeks, he's been good. Here's what I believe. I trust that QJ health in that offense a hell of a lot more than Kansas City right now. I should be able to get more. But if you would give me, if that second was a first, I would do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get that, that's
I didn't know that the QJ stocks were back up that high. They're that high?
It's more of like he is, I don't want to say they're high, but he's viewed as, he's not just a throw-in a deal now. He's viewed to somebody that has him as like.
Scott. It took 2 games. That is what. Is that not a bigger microcosm of why dynasty value, in my opinion, there's no such thing? It's what is the player worth in relative to you today? Because if he was as bummy as people have made him be, there's no way after 2 fluke games, in air quotes, his value should be that damn high. There is no such thing. It's all ADV. If he would have dropped that touchdown pass, people would have been like, I knew it. That's the same QJ. It's relative to what they're doing right now.
Yeah. I don't want to make it this how to buy guys like QJ, but like, who would you rather have, Jaden Higgins or QJ?
Not even close.
But the thought of trading the pick you used on Jaden Higgins for a bum like QJ, people are like, they can't wrap their head around that. But I could also see somebody go, I don't want to trade QJ for that. I'm getting nothing. I'm getting pure hope.
That's what I would say.
It doesn't look like it's going to be fun. So
that's what I would say. All right.
Go to the Jags. We got to check out the Jags real quick. This is one of the ones that just had people just
I can't even talk about Jacksonville anymore because I've been called that I'm just a fear monger. So go ahead.
We'll talk about it. I mean, it's a little better than the Texans.
Yeah.
But it looks a lot like the Texans, right? Like everybody's hovering around or slightly below the line. They have 6 guys that have already been involved. I mean, there's numerous angles we can take with this. Hunter Long's the one at the very bottom. But
my angle is there's a lot of mouths to feed in an offense that nobody really trusts the feeder. Like, I don't really trust the cook. Like, the spread looks good. I don't trust the cook, Scott. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence being able to drag these guys up and beyond what they're kind of doing right now. Maybe if there was some clear separation between these guys, but let's just ISO week 2. We're talking week 2. Look at this. Like, look at this is a weird one. Look at this. It's kind of like an elevator down. Like the guy that had the less usage produced the most, then the next highest usage produced the second most, then the one with the highest usage produced the worst, and then back here you got Travis Hunter and Brenton Strange.
It is a lot, I think, like Houston, where like the quarterback could be better. But right now, I mean, they just have too many guys. I mean, I don't even want to make this doesn't even have to be about BTJ. Look at his usage. It's fine.
Yes, correct.
So let's not make this BTJ.
Correct.
Let's sell him. He's not that good.
He just needs to catch the ball, right?
He's probably going to live in the low-end wide receiver 1 range. He's going to be the best player on this offense.
Agree. 7.33 is his usage score. 7 targets week 1, 12 in week 2. Catch the damn ball,
now,
dude.
We would be having a different conversation. Maybe we take this here for 2 minutes. We'd be having a different conversation if that name Parker Washington or Diami Brown said Travis Hunter.
Correct. That'd be a problem.
But right now, like, you don't want to see 2 other receivers up there and Travis Hunter down at a 3.2, and I think he played 70 and 68% of the snaps on offense and defense. So like you talked about this the other day, like I haven't heard anybody say, I love what they're doing with Travis Hunter. If anything, it's almost like they don't know what they're doing with Travis Hunter, and he's a tough asset to value in Dynasty. Hell, our own Discord was all over the place. Yeah. Some people are out for a first. Other people are, I'm buying for a first because he could explode. I mean, where are you at?
I think what happened in week 2, whether it was just a blip on the radar because they faced off against Jamar Chase and the Bengals, or something that they noticed as a coaching staff. I think this was probably the most of rookie concerns this week. Omarion Hampton pulling his best Clyde Edwards-Helaire at the goal line and not being able to score was second to this. And I think if I were in the front office or in the coaching staff, of course you want to get your number 2 overall pick the ball. But the fact that you saw that De'Ami Brown and Parker Washington were able to play and play well without Travis Hunter on the field as a team, like you're like, okay, like we could work with this, right? We could bring him along slowly. We can use him on the defensive side of the ball. Like it would have been real. I think it would have been a little more bullish for Hunter if those guys got that usage and were way below the line. Like they weren't able to produce. They didn't catch the ball. They were dropping it. They weren't picking up yards after the catch. Like they were good. We saw his snap share go down even in 11 personnel. He was used less than 3 wide receiver sets. He does not play in 2 wide receiver sets. I mean, it just shows me that the team is like, hey, man, like there are going to be weeks where you're not doing all this, you know? There's going to be weeks where you're not getting targeted. And for us for fantasy, like I don't want to be trying to pick the weeks I put Travis Hunter in my lineup. It's early. I think they're trying to figure out what to do with him. This is something I'm very much monitoring, and I don't know what the temperature check and the vibes are on him right now.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody really knows. I think there's a lot of people that are just kind of like, I'm paralyzed from doing anything with Hunter because I want to see more information.
Right.
But I'll just, how you play Dynasty and how I play Dynasty, we may look back in 3 weeks and say this was a foolish statement. But Ray, I get 1 first-round pick per year in my piggy bank. The thought of just blowing that on a week 3 Travis Hunter and saying, I know it's going to pay off, that's not how I want to use my assets. Now, people may clip that and go like, man, you wouldn't even give up a random first for Travis Hunter. Say. It's not that.
Right.
It's that the scarce asset is on the side of I only have 1 of them. There's a lot of variables that I'd be betting on by spending that money today. And that makes for me, like, he's not a buy low. He's a buy if you want to just give him to me because I'll speculate on what the asset could be. But if it means like I pay a random first and the justification is, well, you drafted him at the 104 in the rookie draft, so getting a late 26 first is an underpay, I still don't want to underpay at that. Like, that's not what I want to use my money on today. And I don't know. It just doesn't make sense that this is going to flip-flop that quickly because the problem for the Jags was not how these other 3 receivers played. You know what I mean? Like, that's not their issue. So it's rough.
Let me pull up.
Where are you going?
I want to go to Minnesota.
Okay. Oof. It's going to look a lot like the Texans. Everybody.
This is
bad.
Let me do this as well. Let me just layer the Rams on top of Minnesota. Just because Puka and Adams, right? So you're seeing offenses exist where like this is. What do you make of Minnesota, right? What do you make of this? Because Jefferson is still getting it all, 8.81. So inside of his offense, he is the guy. Jalen Naylor, 6.0, 5 points a game. Hockinson looks cooked. Thielen's done nothing. All that hype over Thielen. Josh Oliver, and then we know no Jordan Addison. Like, what do you... No J.J. McCarthy 2 to 4 weeks either. I don't know if that's good or bad. But what do you make of this?
I mean, if you just look at the Vikings as they've existed in the first 2 weeks, like, they definitely missed Jordan Addison in terms of, like, another guy that can get out there and be used in a way that it all is threatening. And, like, this should be very encouraging if you're hoping Jordan Addison comes back because there's plenty of opportunity in this pie for him to be clearly the second best option. You know what I mean? There's no threats at all. But, I mean, you just said they're losing McCarthy and going to Carson Wentz. Like, you just isolate the Vikings. Like, can it get any worse, Ray?
Look at this. Look at this.
It really can't get worse. I can't expect the quarterback production is going to make these guys produce any lower than what's currently on your screen?
You know? And here's the thing. The thought of even uttering, do you trade Justin Jefferson is just, they might as well, you're getting burned at the stake, man. Like you can't even suggest it. I don't know if there's a deal. You go pull up Dynasty Daddy. I don't know if there are any Jefferson deals, but the thought to even, would you consider it? People ain't trying to hear it, man. People ain't trying to hear it. So Scott, what would you do if somebody offered you, would a 27 2 first and Rashee Rice? Would anybody do that for Jefferson? And would you take that? 2 first and Rashee Rice for Justin Jefferson?
I would take Rashee Rice very easily.
I would too.
I mean, that's too much. I think this is kind of a Rashee Rice is a little risky, no doubt.
That's why I picked a risky one. I tried to pick a risky one.
I think even Rashee Rice in a first.
I didn't want to start there.
That gets you in the door. Now, the Jefferson managers say, like, this dude's going to make the Hall of Fame. I'm not trading him away. McCarthy will figure it out. But so you have go put week 1 and week 2 on your screen. Just humor me real quick. Week 1 and week 2 for this year. And everybody just look at it for 15 seconds. That's what you see. Now, Ray, I want you to put on 2023, weeks 10 through 15. And tell me describe what you see for people that are watching this late. I mean, what do you see there? And if you can kind of omit Thielen, because he obviously wasn't on their team that time during this time.
I see
Addison and Jefferson were.
Yeah. Right there.
And Ray, those are the 6 games started by Nick Mullins and Josh Dobbs. And that's what it looks like when the shitty quarterbacks come in with these weapons and a good system. At least it's like survivable, right? You know what I mean? Like, you got something out of these. Like, that is kind of an indictment. Like, you can't speak to, I mean, I get it. McCarthy's he's young. He hasn't played a lot, but like, we'd be lying if we said we expected to look up and not even get what like those guys gave you. You know what I mean? So there's some concern here. There's some concern, no doubt.
Tony said it's very prisoner of the moment argument.
Well, we're not going to see any difference.
Well, I mean, this is the moment, right? This is if y'all don't know me, I don't play this long-term game in Dynasty. I don't operate that way. Every last one of these assets that we've said is untouchable, untradeable. They've either all had multiple moments, whether that be people trading 3 firsts for Marvin Harrison, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Puka Nacua. You could buy them whenever you want. So this idea that because things are going bad, I have to sit and suffer through it, I don't play Dynasty that way. I don't think you have to. I think the game is so reactionary that you don't have to do old Dynasty principles where you just hold through it. Like, I'm just going to sit through the volatility. I truly believe you could buy. I bet you there's all kind of Brock Bowers deals out there now. And 3 weeks ago, people would have said he's unobtainable. Unobtainable asset. That's not how I play. That's not how Dynasty works. And you could buy these guys at any freaking moment in time. I bet you there's a market on Jaden Daniels now with the knee. You name them. Joe Burrow. Lamar Jackson had it. You could buy these guys at any moment. So I don't have to, if we get to a point and we're just talking through the data through 2 weeks, if we get to a point where I can move an asset and get more and something on top of it, you're damn right I will.
Well, and this is, I mean, Tony's saying it's preserve the moment argument, but the reality is if JJ McCarthy's the future, he's going to come back, right? He's going to be out for the next month. Have you seen the schedule he faces when he comes back in week 7, Ray? Have you seen who they face?
I haven't.
Here's the first 4 games he gets. Eagles, Chargers, Lions, Ravens. So you don't think there's going to be a microscope on his play during those games against 4 of the top other 8 teams in the league? Oh, and then he gets the Bears, but then he goes right back to it at Green Bay, at Seattle. So if you look at this and you're going, oh, it's early for JJ, he'll figure it out. Like, we may be looking up and it's like week 12 and we're going, what's happened to the 3 Vikings that are supposed to smash? And maybe Hockinson is cooked, but like, it's very bearish for him knowing Addison's coming back. And this is what he's given you with this efficiency. And you know they're going to go back to McCarthy. You have to. You got to give him as much time as you can this year to see what he's got.
100%. It's McCarthy.
I'm bearish on all the other weapons, but especially the non-Jefferson weapons. Like, it's just hard for me to see the path, man, unless it's just a stark turnaround. And if that's the case, you know what? If you think it's just going to turn around, go buy all the offense. Go get yourself a JJ Hawk stack. Buy it low. You know what I mean? But I'm just not that confident. I think this is set up to be a subpar situation with too many guys.
And you know what doesn't get fixed midseason? The O-line, the scheme, right? You could try to improve it as best you can, but like, it's these wholesale changes without the consistency of the signal caller. Like, it is what it is, man. Like, so what? Like, if one of these guys has a down year, like, Justin Jefferson's not entitled to 1,500-yard seasons just because his name is Justin Jefferson, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's not. He's not. There's very well potentially, whether it's this year or next year, he has a down year, man. Or things break wrong for him, which is breaking in a rookie quarterback who's now going to miss a month of football, having to resort to Carson Wentz, an offensive line that still is without Christian Derrick. There are plenty of reasons why. Right? We're asking these questions. Nothing is in stone. I'm just looking at the situation right now, and usage-wise, you can't look at this and tell me this looks great. Murph said they lost more pieces of the O-line last night. They lost Aaron Jones. I mean, shit happens, right? Like, shit happens.
Yep.
So far, it hasn't. His slice of this big pie has equated to 11 points per game.
Here's one I want to look at. I want to look at this one real quick.
Sorry.
Pull up. We can do this one in 30 seconds. I just wanted to make a point. Pull up Tampa Bay, 1 through 2.
All right, hold on. Tampa Bay, 3 2. Yeesh.
And if you want actionability, like it barring he stays healthy, it's coming from Evans, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of these games, he's going 8 for 130 and 2, you know? So that's one of those probably if you're looking for like actionable takes, like if you can go swap, we've talked about like 5 or 6 situations. If you could go swap something and get yourself an Evans share, that's one of those guys I'd be willing just to keep rolling out there until he has that game or multiples.
Yeah, the usage is good. Usage is good. Just points haven't materialized. He had multiple end zone shots in the game as well. Let's hit one more, Scott. Where do you want to go?
I think the one that I think shocked a lot of people that is starting to gain a lot of steam is pull up that Denver. Talk about that Troy Franklin, the new wide receiver 1 in Denver.
Look at that. Just look at how many dots are on the screen first and foremost. And that does not include, I think, Tyler Beatty, who caught a pass, Harvey, who's in pass routes. I just want to look at that back here. Got Marvin Mims, not the guy. Evan Ingram, wasn't he hurt? Pat Bryant got involved week 2. Adam Troutman's out there. So Lucas Kroll, another tight end. Trent Sherfield, don't know what he did, but I guess he did something. Then you got Courtland Sutton and Troy Franklin. Yeah. Yeah.
We have something here in the Bo Nix, Troy Franklin kinship.
Here's the thing. Yes to that, but that's not what is the lead of the story. It's the trust that the coaching staff has to give him opportunity, right? His ability to earn opportunity from the coaching staff. And then, yes, there is natural synergy there between he and his collegiate quarterback, but he had to earn it first. And so far, he's earned it more than any other receiver on this team, absent Courtland Sutton 1-catch performance last week. So let's look at week 1. Let's go back to week 1 so we can get weeks 1 to 2 give you the kind of the best of both worlds. Look, it's almost like they're flip-flopped. Franklin took Sutton's spot. In week 1, Franklin was where Sutton is or was for week 2, and Sutton was where Franklin was. Look at this. Look Look at this is a great illustration. Look how many dots there are. Weeks 1, it was Sutton and Franklin. And then week 2, watch the flip. Just watch the flip. There's Franklin there. You got a Marvin Mims, Pat Bryant, Adam Troutman, Courtland Sutton way down here. So when it, averages out for the season, Scott, I mean, it's Franklin and Sutton. Just kind of how it looked on that week 1 chart. It's Franklin in the Sutton spot and Sutton in the Franklin spot from week 1. I think it's real. I think this is what it's been, is those two guys and nobody else. I think this is real. I think it's real. Maybe not him being all the way up in the high-end 1 usage range, but I think it's those two guys at receiver right there. It's Sutton and Franklin, and they probably want to bring they probably want one of these tight ends as soon, but they're using 3 of them. They've used 3, and I know Ingram was out, so I'm buying the Franklin Sutton thing. I think I'm buying into it.
Yeah, I mean, in Denver is pretty promising in terms of how they're running their offense. It's not it's not what you would picture exactly in terms of their 12th in neutral pass rate. Bo Nix is, I'm looking where Bo is.
He's not kind of like been very good, right?
No, he's you know what he's in? He's in like that T-Law range where like it's not absolutely dreadful, but it could be better.
Could be better.
But it's a decent environment. It's a decent environment. It's a little bit of a better environment than even like the Vikings and the Texans. So, and there's more concentration there. So as long as the Nats don't continue to
rise up,
that's been always the worry with Peyton, is they use 3 running backs, 3 tight ends, 5 receivers. Like, it's too many guys. But I mean, that Franklin usage in week 2, I mean, he definitely looked like that he was their primary option. And whether that continues or not, like the fact that he's been either 1 or 2 for the first 2 weeks, tells me they probably view him as one of the top 2 or 3 weapons on the team, and not some of these other Nats.
He's been 1 or 2 both weeks. So I am cautiously optimistic on Troy Franklin, and I drafted quite a bit of him in the last round. It's crazy how high Pat Bryant was going in the summertime when you could get Franklin practically in the last round for majority of it. So more information to come. I mean, we still have yet to make any strong proclamations one way or another, but I think after this week 3, it will have more information, and the conversation will be even better to talk about. Let's hit on the Trinity Score usage leader on the week, though. The number 1 player in usage, you know who it is, Scott?
Number 1 player on the week?
Number 1. No, for the season. For the season.
JSN?
Yeah, JSN.
It's an absurd number.
9.46 JSN. And some people were asking because it was like 9.44 earlier. When they do stat corrections, this thing corrects too. So you may see the number fluctuate from like Monday till after NFL does stat corrections. But JSN is the leader in wide receiver stuff asked upon him from his team. Now, he's above expectation. He's above the regression line, but there's room for upward mobility if Sam Darnold plays better. There's room for more if Sam Darnold plays better. There he is, right there above the line. Right there above the line. Got Zay Flowers, Puka Nacua, Malik Nabers. There's G-Dub, Garrett Wilson, CeeDee Lamb, right there in the middle. There's JSN, right there towing the line. Who's underneath it? That's Jefferson. Justin Jefferson. It's like the buy zone in here for me. These are the guys that I kind of want that aren't producing. Who's this? Trey McBride. Let's take tight ends off for a second. Tyreek Hill. Mike Evans. You talked about Evans. Drake London. Chris Olave. Pearsall. Tet McMillan. Jacoby Myers. Kind of in that range. A little lower. Got Ridley.
Calvin Ridley. He is the only player with a 7 or higher Trinity that is averaging less than 7 points per game.
And
it's just
Judy.
Less than 8 points per game or something. Yeah. It's really low.
Judy. Yeah, because A.M. Manor's over 8. He's at 9, and he's at a 7. Ridley's at a 7-7. Got Lad McConkey in that buy zone. Marv. Judy. You got to make the case, right? Nico. Calvin. I don't think I'd buy that Calvin. Yeah, Jalen Waddle. Just interesting range. Interesting range. Scott, go ahead and wrap us up, man.
Yeah, I mean, this has been fun. I think looking through these week to week, you get more information every time. We can look at either 1 week at a time, or we can look at the whole sample size. Obviously, we only have 2 weeks, so it's easy to go through, hey, this is week 1, this is week 2. But once we get to, like I said, Ray, last week, when we get to that sweet spot, when we have like 4 or 5 games, like a third of the season, we can really start kind of looking at like, I don't, if I have 5 games of an offense, I'm not guessing that the offensive efficiency is going to go from the bottom to the top of the league overnight. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's when you could start really making some bets. And the beauty of that is when bye weeks start. There's going to be more injuries. There's going to be more quarterback changes. So stay tuned with us every Monday.
Yeah, we're going to go Mondays.
Time to be determined, but it's going to be Mondays. We're going to try to get this Trinity updates in the afternoon on Monday. So we're going to try to get this out like in the evening, late afternoon, evening, sometime on Mondays, so that you have this before waivers, before the leagues roll over for the next week. But that's the plan going forward. So apologize for being late this week. Thank you, everybody that was in here. Ray, I told you yesterday, this is the funnest show we do all week, at least for me.
Yeah, I love it,
just
man.
Because it's so much it's relaxing, but it's also very informative in terms of using our tool to look through these teams. So I love it. Appreciate everybody. Week 3 is already here. Good luck this week. Good luck going out and making some moves. That's all I got.